Good morning. So this is my second attempt at a video this morning. My first video got cut short because my alarm went off. And so that was not the share that was needed today. And yeah, there were other places that I needed to be, and it was a good reminder to go take care of those things before taking care of this thing. And so today in New England, it is downpouring for like the millionth day in a row. We have turned into a very humid climate where, like every day we're getting storms and rain, and it's cloudy pretty much every morning. And we are on, I don't know, like day 5 or 6 of this. It feels like an eternity. And it's easy to get caught up in that, right? Like I'm so sick of this weather. And I know there are a lot of people who just like crave the sunshine every day. And when we don't get any sun, they're like, what the heck? But I am going to let you in on a little secret. Like, as much as I love the sunshine, I feel like rainy, stormy days are like divine permission to rest, right? And not feel like I'm going to miss out on anything. And so this morning I had plans. Somebody was going to come in and help with garden planning, because one of my passion projects is I steward a free pantry in my front yard with my family, and in our community, when we were having conversations, said that they really need more access to fresh produce, and not everybody has the time or the space to do their own gardening. And so we put in some garden beds, and there was a really big response to that. And so this year we expanded our garden beds, and then it became very clear to the universe that I do not know what I'm doing when it comes to growing produce. And this should not have shocked anybody, because I'm really open about the fact that I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I'm just kind of rolling with it like a rock going downhill or a leaf in the stream, right? I just go with the flow. I go where my curiosity and my divine inner guidance lead me. And so I've been really open with people that I know nothing about growing produce beyond the fact that seeds want to grow. And I do follow some gardening beginner groups, and I, during the pandemic, took an online permaculture course. But I am someone who learns by doing, and I learn by falling on my face over and over and over again, right? This is, not a coincidence that I majored in chemistry, right? Science is experimentation, and experimentation means, there's no failures, there's just data. We collect data and we adjust, and we do the experiment again. We just run it over and over until we get reproducible results that are desired. And so, I like to tell people there's no failures in gardening. There's just experiments. And there are people who find liberation in that. And there are people who get really rubbed the wrong way. What is this woman doing? She doesn't know what she's doing. Why is she still doing it? And sometimes that judgment can feel really harsh, especially when I'm not aligned. But also, the openly sharing that I don't know what I'm doing about growing produce. Ask me about growing flowers. That is my jam. I've been doing that, beautifying spaces. I could do that. But growing produce, I'm pumped anytime I grow anything. I'm doing amazing. I grew food people could eat. I grew tomatoes. I grew cucumbers. I grew tons and tons of serrano peppers that no one wanted to eat until I asked people specifically to come get them, and then they all went. So I don't know who took the entire box of serrano peppers, but more power to them. I'm glad they like spicy food. So, like, to me, this is like win, right? That I grew any edible produce. And to other people, they're like, she has overcrowded garden beds. She grew broccoli. Broccoli's hard to grow. Like, why is she trying to grow broccoli? And it's, you know, like, you don't know what you don't know. And so one of the beautiful things that has come out of the concern regarding my lack of gardening tech is that somebody offered to help. And my ability to trust, right, that I had asked the universe for help. I was like, send me the people to help with the garden. I need a garden coordinator. I need like a garden planner. Somebody needs to take ownership of this. Number one, because I need less on my plate. So, right, I am recognizing that I need help with some of these projects, that I can't try to do all of them. And also, right, like, I just don't have the expertise for this, and I need a mentor, basically. Like, I need somebody to help me with this, because I do not know what I'm doing, and I want to utilize the space more efficiently so I can help more people. So I need help to help more people, to broaden my reach. Like, this is a reoccurring theme in my life. If anybody wants to know what my work in this life is, okay, it is asking for help. I think a lot of people share that. So anyway, this morning, that person who volunteered to help, that I could recognize, even though it felt like it was coming with a little bit of judgment, which I think was coming from a place of concern, and also a little bit of a, like, what is she doing? Because some people wait until it's perfect to show up and present themselves to the world. So I was a little nervous about it, because although I have fire in my constitution, fire in other people can be challenging for me. Because people who have a lot of fire are great at getting things done, and they are organized and discerning, and right, like, they just they know their stuff. And the downside of fiery people is when that fire is out of balance, it could come through like judgment and criticism and knowing better than other people. And that is certainly something that I have lived when my fire has been out of balance, is feeling like I know better than everybody else and having to really rein myself in on that. And that could be why, right, like, it's hard for me and other people. Number one, because it just doesn't ever feel good to be rescued and pitied. But also, right, it's that reminder of the shadowy stuff in me that I am not the biggest fan of. And a lot of things in life is taking both, right? Like, accepting that my fire is what can make something like a pantry happen, what can make a good community garden happen, what can take the airy vision, because I have so much air, that's why I'm so, like, absent-minded and all over the place, right? Can take that air, all of the ideas, and transform them into reality. So yeah, she was supposed to come and we were going to brainstorm this morning, and I had a little fear around that because I did not want to feel like I was being rescued. But more than that, I was, looking to accept with gratitude that the universe had sent me this person I had asked for. And sometimes you need to take the little bit of concern and judgment with the advice, because not everybody is going to be balanced all of the time. And right, and it's very possible she could show up very balanced and just want to help and have her helper pants on rather than her judgment pants. I have no way of knowing, right? And it's always my stuff to work, because it's not about the other people, it's about us, and it's about my fear of being judged, and being judged by the shadow side of my air, which is to be really flighty and jump in without thinking, and to not be prepared, to be all up in the spinning ideas and not a lot in the executing them well. So anyway, the thing that added another layer on all of this is my kids are back in school and they are catching things. And so I woke up this morning just feeling crummy because they woke me up a bunch last night because they weren't feeling good. And now I have the sore throat that they have. And what I really was craving was some time to rest. And then lo and behold, torrential downpours and thunderstorms this morning. Like, thank you, universe. And so while the rain is a bummer, it is also a gift if you were somebody who needed some canceled plans to rest. And, you know, rainy days are also good for release. So if you've got some emotion bottled up inside of you that you have been feeling like you need to let go, rainy days are really good for tapping into that, right? And to recognize that even the clouds need to release, right? Even nature needs to let go and to let loose and to just pour, or to rage, right? With the thunder and the lightning, right? Nature is not always gentle. It can be really destructive, and it's also, right, it's beautiful and it's creation and it is loving. And it can be all of it, and we can be all of it and still be beautiful in creation and loving. And so if you're still hanging in there on my talk around the universe this morning, right, we went all over the place, then I appreciate you for hanging in there with me. And yeah, perhaps not any super juicy tidbits, just an honest share, because no matter how much inner work I do, like, there's always going to be stuff that kicks up that needs to be worked. And what there is simultaneously that is so beautiful is like this deep knowing, that's bigger than the fear, that however it rolls, it's going to be fine. And however it rolls, that I know I'm doing my best, and however other people show up and however those interactions go, that I have the tools to feel and process through it and release whatever it's kicking up in me. Because let's be honest, if I were fully enlightened, like, other people's judgment would not faze me. It's the fact that, like, somewhere deep in me there is still this fear, this flavor of unworthiness, this fear of not being lovable unless I'm producing well and high achieving. And right, we all have those things that are like way down in there, that are going to show up from time to time. And the work is not to completely eradicate those things, although that would be really juicy and beautiful. The work is to recognize when we are in those things and when those things are showing up, and then use our tools to get back to ourselves and get back to our heart and get back in alignment. Because every day we're choosing constantly, and we are choosing between love and heart, right? Coming from this place, which is where we connect to ourselves and everything else, or choosing fear, the headspace, the little angry toddler inside, who lives in fear, and who, if it had its way, would have us shrink our worlds down tiny, 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 so we are right in our little capsule and nothing can reach us. And the problem of being in that space is nothing can reach us. The love and connection also can't reach us, right? If we wall ourselves off from all of the hurt, we also wall off from all of the joy and the love and the connection. And we are a species that is designed for connection. So I hope that whatever you need most today, that you can recognize that need, and that you can do your best to offer it to yourself, because because the most important person in your life is you. And the person who most needs to show up for you and love you and put you first is you. And the more we can learn to provide what we need for ourselves, the less we are reliant on other people, other substances, other anything to fill our cup. And while that may seem really scary, right, like the idea of not needing other people, it is actually really, really liberating, because when you are not dependent on other people, you can choose to be with them because you want to. And that is a juicier level of connection. There is no one-way liberation when you liberate yourself from the need, the being dependent on other people. You actually give space for them to just be who they are, and you to be who you are, and to just enjoy the connection and savor everything it is. Not expecting any of this to be perfect all of the time, but just, recognizing that when we're doing the work, sometimes there's this fear of loss, of losing connection, losing our people, right? What if I show up for myself and people resent me? What if I show up for myself and I show up authentically and people reject me? And what actually happens is that the people you lose were not meant for you, right? You never had them, because if they were accepting this non-version, masked version of you and not accepting the authentic you, then you didn't actually have them, and they're not your people, right? And instead what you will get is all of the people who are magnetized to exactly who you are, and love you for it, and celebrate you for it, and celebrate with you. And those connections are worth having, and those connections are worth the work and the fear, and those are the connections you deserve. And that all of that starts with connecting with ourselves and recognizing our needs and showing up for ourselves. So wherever you are at today, even if it's in the tiniest way possible, even if it's just taking a couple grounding breaths, even if it's brushing your teeth, even if it is connecting with your heart for a moment to recognize that need, even if you can't execute it in this moment. I hope you find the space to do that for yourself, because you are lovable and you are worthy. And I'll keep reminding you until it feels true for you to say it to yourself. And you are loved and you are held, and I am here cheering for you and holding the vision of what you desire with you. And I will keep on being here. And I'm not the only one. So I hope you have an amazing day. And if it is not amazing, if it's really hard, then I hope you can believe that you're not in it alone, and that divine assistance is always ready and available to help. You just need to ask. And that you can trust that whatever this heart is, that it'll pass. And it's not who you are, it's just what you're going through in this moment. So, sending you all love.